Hi, this is Polly from thefitmumformula.com, and today I want to talk to you about low-calorie diets and why they actually don't work very well for weight loss. So obviously, if you want to lose weight, you have to be eating in a calorie deficit. So you do need to be eating fewer calories than you burn. And for most people, if you're overweight, you're going to be eating quite a few too many calories. So you do need to reduce those either by eating fewer or burning off more, or preferably a combination of the two. And I've had quite a few people contact me recently, and one of the first things that I ask them is, what are you doing at the moment? What have you tried in the past? What's worked? What hasn't worked? Etc. etc. I've got quite a few people saying to me that they're putting themselves on these fairly low calorie diets. We're talking sort of between 1100, 1300 calories, which is pretty low for most people. That's going to be quite low calories for all but the most sedentary, possibly elderly adults. So that's a really low calorie diet. And in addition to that, they're saying they're trying to burn off, say, 400 or 500 calories with exercise a day. Now obviously the figure that they think they're burning off during exercise is probably inaccurate, because everybody burns at different rates, and just because it says on a DVD or in an exercise program or on the workout machine that that's how many calories you're burning, that's a really rough guess, and it's probably not accurate in the slightest. And obviously remember, you're burning calories all day, so just because maybe you burned 100 calories in a set exercise doesn't mean you wouldn't have burnt 70 calories just pottering about the house or whatever in that same amount of time anyway. So exercise doesn't burn off as much as you think. But the thing is, these people are coming to me on these low calorie programs and these low calorie diets, saying that they just cannot lose weight. Now we've got so then I had to probe a little bit further, because I think, right, if they're really eating that, they really should be losing weight on that. There's not many people who wouldn't lose weight on 1100 calories. So I delve a bit further and I say, okay, how are you tracking those calories? How are you counting them? How accurate are you being? And some people genuinely are using some decent tracker apps, things like MyFitnessPal, looking at packets, and they're even weighing their food. So they should be, what they're counting, they should be doing pretty well at. And so then I have to probe a little bit further. So problem number one I come across is that they're not actually doing that. They think they're roughly counting calories, but they're not doing it so exactly that they're actually having anything like what they're actually having, and they're guessing portion sizes, things like using their hands to measure things. Now I don't advocate weighing every single gram of food at all, but if what your idea of a plateful, a bowlful, a handful is very different to perhaps what a guideline has given you in a particular diet, you might be overshooting what you think you're eating by quite a lot. Those calories are going to add up. So if you're not really measuring your food and weighing your food, you aren't going to know exactly what calories you're having. Okay, the next issue is the little extras. Now, okay, you might be having, say, any meal, and you might have a little teaspoon of mayonnaise, you might have a sprinkle of dressing. All these little extras, they're barely anything in the composition of a meal. You look at it and you don't notice it, but throughout the course of a day, these little extras, the milk you have in your tea and coffee, if you have several teas and coffees a day, that milk's going to add up. Not a massive amount, but when you add the salad dressing, you add a tiny smear of spread or butter on some bread or vegetables, a little bit of even low calorie reduced fat dressing, a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. All these tiny extras, they do add up. So even if you're calorie counting the rest of your food and it's fairly low calories, those extras do count. That's not to say you can't have them, but they might be adding up to more calories than you need. Now the third one is the one I actually find is probably the most common one, is where people are tracking their calories, that they are on a plan, they are being very meticulous and very obsessive over every single gram, but the problem is the calories in the plan they've set themselves on is not working for them, in that they are hungry, they're depriving themselves, and they're craving foods all of the time, because they're not focusing so much on the composition of foods, on things like proteins, carbohydrates and fats. It's just about calories. So they're treating themselves to, say, 100 calorie sweet treat, and they've figured out they can have a few toffees or a few sweets. Now obviously that's within their calorie range, but that's not filling at all. That's not going to fill you up. And so what's happening is these people they're doing the best they can to stick to this low calorie diet, but occasionally they just can't resist a huge piece of cake, finishing up the kids' leftovers, whatever, because they're so hungry all the time. And the problem is all these extras are actually adding up to more calories than they're needing. Hence, they're staying overweight. So this low calorie diet is completely backfiring because they're still overeating because they're too hungry. So the first thing I say to people is if whatever you're doing is making you binge, making you overeat later, meaning that you absolutely cannot resist things that are not so helpful on a weight loss diet, then whatever you're doing isn't working. What you need to be on a plan that works for you, so you are not hungry, you are not craving food, you do not have low energy, you are not finishing up every scrap of kids' food that they leave, you are not, you are able to say no to things when you know they're not so helpful for you, and you can do so without making your life a complete misery. So there you go, there are my 3 reasons why going on a low calorie diet does not work for you. If you're not losing weight and that is your goal to lose weight, then whatever you're doing is not working. So reducing calories further, as you can see, is not going to be the answer. I hope that's helpful for you. If you've got any questions about counting calories or trying to figure out the best program for you, just drop me a line, polly@thefitmumformula.com, and I'll get back to everybody as soon as I can. Alright, thank you very much. If you like this video, find it helpful, please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with anyone else you think will find helpful. Thank you. Bye-bye.